is Space Gypsy 1, and we are at Anime Blues Con in Memphis, Tennessee, and we're sitting here with Lonnie Easterling.
Easterling, yes.
Great, and he does Spud Comics?
That's right.
So tell us about what you do and how you got started.
Well, I've been a cartoonist pretty much from the point where I could hold a pencil. As a young kid, I just wanted to draw Popeye the Sailor Man. He was my very first cartoon character that I tried to emulate, and then I just took it from there and just went into art and took all the art classes in school. My very first published work, I created a little puppy dog. His name was Ralph the dog, a little white dog, and he had a flea as a best friend. His name was Julius, and it was called Ralph the dog. It was a little weekly comic strip that it was in a weekly newspaper here locally for a few years. And then I decided that I enjoyed doing single panel cartoons, and where I didn't have to use the same characters, you know, over and over again, although that sometimes is a little easier to work with when you know the characters. But they were funny, and I liked the variety of being able to draw different themes and coming up with different ideas where not necessarily a character could fit into. So I started doing those probably around in the mid-90s, and tried to get those into some local papers as well. I was successful in putting it into a couple of small entertainment style weeklies, things like that, but then they went under just like a lot of other newspapers have. And then I discovered webcomics. My day job, I'm a graphic artist, so I learned to do websites. And then I created another comic strip style. It's called Monkey Butler, where it was just like it's called. This guy inherits a butler, and it just happens to be a monkey. And I did that all hand coded, because this was like, you know, beginning of, you know, websites, and it got to be to the point where every comic strip that I would create, it just got to be so difficult to archive them and, you know, post a new one, things like that. So I kind of dissolved that. And then later on, I found out that you could actually set up what they call a CMS, or WordPress style site, where you can post a comic and it'll do all the archiving for you. So now all the ease is I just draw it out by hand, color it in Photoshop, and then post it, and it takes care of the rest for me. And that's where Spud Comics comes from, which I've been doing since 2008.
So how's your following going? Is it getting up there?
Yeah, it's it's very interesting, because when I started Spud Comics, you know, Facebook and Twitter and all of them were just about to begin too, and, you know, social media has been really key component for me to get followers and subscribers. You know, the site has an RSS feed, so Facebook picks up on that. And so with my Facebook page, you know, you don't necessarily have to come to the website to see the cartoons, although I'd love for you to, but you know, you can pick it up right there in your Facebook feed. Also Twitter, I advertise on that quite a bit. And
do you tend to go in one direction or another, or you just let your crazy mind take over?
Well, it's funny, you know, cartoon is probably the most frequent question they're asked, is where your ideas come from. And for some reason, it seems to be mostly my cartoons a bit about food, and that's been pointed out too. But you know, it's just like any other writer or artist. I write what I know, and of course I like to eat, as you can tell. But really, I think the ideas and where I work with, most of the time, I pick something just at random. I haven't done a comic about a giraffe, or what would happen if Batman were in this situation, you know, and I just go from there. I pick random things and try to mash them together in a certain way that would just be funny. When I first started doing this, you know, I really wanted to do another web comic after Monkey Butler, and I, you know, I liked the single panel cartoons that I did for the weekly papers. But I was like, I didn't really ever see any single panel cartoons on the web, although they were out there. but I thought that I would be kind of filling a niche with it, but later on I found out that everybody else was doing it too. But I really loved the Far Side. The Far Side was, one of the big influences. Also Calvin and Hobbes. So I was trying to take those art styles, maybe some of that, the crazy ideas, and again, just mashing up different random things and just making it fit.
There is a lot of comics that I've noticed, even more here, and I think it's because it's a smaller con and I'm not so widespread, but everybody's got a comic table and a comic book and a graphic book and
Right.
a graphic novel, and it's really interesting that the amount of drawing that's involved with the story now.
Right.
Which is great. I think it's
there's a lot of talent here, and that's another reason why I'm here at the Anime Blues Cons, to promote the Mid-South Cartoonists Association, which I'm a member of and just recently became the secretary of the organization. So most of us are here, most of the members are here promoting and trying to actually build the organization and get more people involved. It doesn't just have to be cartoonists or writers, although we got a lot of those. You could be a sculptor, animator, or you can just be a fan of cartoons and comics. And we get together the first of every month and talk about those things. So yeah, if we have any local people, it'd be great for y'all to come out and talk with us about, your hobbies and interests.
How would they find you at the Mid-South Comic Association?
It's the Mid-South Cartoonists Association. In fact, that's our website, midsouthcartoonistassociation.com. You can also check us out on Facebook. There should be links to all that from my website too. So.
And what is your website again?
My website is spudcomics.com, and if you're wondering why it's called Spud Comics, it's in honor of my grandfather. My grandfather nicknamed all of his grandkids, which I think there's about 26 of us. It's quite a bit. But each one of us got a nickname, and mine just happened to be Spud. So in his honor, his memory, I thought it was catchy enough that I could add it to comics, and because I needed something that was kind of all-encompassing, these cartoons. And again, it's a potato, so it's another food reference there. But
nothing wrong with
I do other comics besides food-related items.
Sure you do. Well, Lonnie, I really appreciate you talking with us, and we'll try to guide some people in your direction. I like your, like I said, I follow you on Twitter, and
thank you.
I enjoy that, so I try to remember to retweet it. I'm so bad, I'm never on there.
No, that's fine. Yeah, the retweets, shares on Facebook, I mean, that means more to me than you could possibly know. More than, buying a book or a print, just as long as you can get it out there. I have friends, yeah, I do have friends. I haven't met in person, but like over in England, some European countries, all on Twitter, and they talk to me and I talk to them, and not just about comics but also everyday life. So yeah, social media has just been wonderful for artists and cartoonists, especially for me.
Yeah, it is. It's great. All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Becca.